Hey there, it's AAA Wednesday, which is my Ask Alyssa Anything series where I'm responding to questions you've left in the comments about the publishing industry and writing a better story. If you're new here, welcome. I'm a professional book editor, and every week I post videos either with book writing tips or insight on how the publishing industry works, as that's my professional background. So if any of that interests you, consider subscribing and joining this amazing community of more than 25,000 authors. Before we dive into the questions today, it would mean a lot to me if you hit that thumbs up button. It really does help my videos have a wider reach. Thank you to everyone who submitted questions, and I'm excited to dive in. Here's the first question. Hello, will the literary agent provide invoices to me for every monetary transaction done between them and the publishing house on my behalf, as well as all the other deals done for me? Am I able to keep track of what my book is earning apart from what the agent tells me by mouth? This is a great question that gets into the logistics of how your relationship with your agent will work and how you will be paid, which is so important. All payments on behalf of your book, whether that is part of your advance that your publishing house is giving you, or royalties that you are earning, or audiobook deals, foreign rights deals, etc., are going to get paid to the agency directly. Then the agency in their bookkeeping is going to take out their 15% commission and then send you a check for the remainder. This is something I had direct experience with when I was working at a literary agency. I helped with sending out checks to authors, and each of them would say exactly what it was for, what the period of earnings were, and how much, of course, the commission was, and then how much the author earned. So you will get detailed invoices. Typically, the timeline for payment will depend on when publishers release their money, which is on a set schedule. But then the agent will do their best to get you the money as soon as they possibly can process it on their end. As for deals that are done on your behalf through literary agents, you will be fully clued in to different rights that are being sold for your book, because ultimately those are contracts that you are going to have to sign. So it's never going to be the case where the agent is like, I just sold the film rights, and you had no idea that that was happening. You would have been tuned into that entire process and, of course, signed the contract with the film agency, and you would, of course, know how much you are getting paid and when those payments are estimated to come through. Before we get into the next question, I wanted to let you know about a free resource I created specifically for my YouTube community called my Story Self-Assessment Worksheet. If you have a work in progress, it's a fun, simple quiz designed to help you see your story from a new perspective and identify some weak areas you might consider revising on the next draft. Downloading that's going to sign you up for my newsletter, Chapter Break, where I interview publishing industry insiders and successfully published authors. I'm getting a lot of amazing feedback on the newsletter, so I'm going to keep growing it and hope that you all keep enjoying it. If you want to go straight to the newsletter, head into the description for that link as well. Here's the next question. What is considered YA? Can there be something such as YA thriller/crime or YA a completely separate genre? Are there different types of YA novels? So when we're talking about genre classifications, the first classification would be the age range, that being either picture book, middle grade, YA, or adult. Now, within each of those categories, particularly middle grade, YA, and adult, where we have a wider range of books being published in those categories, you will have subgenres. That could be thriller, mystery, romance, that could be historical. Any of the age range categories could have any of those subgenres as well. There's plenty of YA thrillers out there. There's plenty of YA romance out there, even YA historical. So while YA is a genre in and of itself, we often classify YA by the subgenre as well. If your story is YA but doesn't have a specific subgenre, I would likely just classify it as contemporary YA fiction if it's taking place in our present time. Here's another question. Alyssa, good info again, presented professionally in spite of your rowdy support staff on the couch. Yeah, Luca's here today as well. Not being particularly rowdy, luckily. Do you know of a resource authors can use to get input on their query letters? Yes, there are many professional editors who have background in the industry who provide query letter reviews, myself included. This is a service I offer. You can also search Reedsy, which is a platform for freelance publishing professionals to connect with authors, For someone who specializes in your genre and offers query letter reviews, there are plenty available there. Another option, if you're not able to invest in an editor reviewing your query letter, would be to get some free query advice. There are sometimes authors or editors or agents offering free query critiques on Twitter. So if you follow the publishing community, you might see one of those opportunities come up. And there is a subreddit, I think called Pub Tips, where people often will give free query critiques. Now, in that case, on the subreddit, you might not know who is really giving you those tips, but they could be helpful. And I've seen a lot of engagement on those threads. We have time for one more question today. I've got my first rejection, which is so exciting because I feel like a real writer now. I love that perspective. And I chose a few smaller agents who stated they respond to all queries, as I was hoping to get some feedback before trying bigger agencies. The rejecting email stated, "Unfortunately, I don't think your book would be quite right for my list at this time. Publishing is very subjective, of course, and I'm sure another agent will feel differently. Should I take this to mean that my query letter was okay? Or was the agent simply being polite and I may need to tweak a few things in your opinion?" To me, this sounds like your bread and butter standard form rejection from a literary agent. So you really can't glean any insights on your query letter or your sample pages from this. It just means that the agent reviewed it and copy and pasted their standard rejection into the response email to you. That's not a bad thing. Most rejections are form rejections, but I wouldn't take any action on your query materials based on this because there's no specific feedback that they were able to give. I do have another video that goes into what to look for when you are getting rejections, what a personalized rejection will look like versus a form rejection, so I'd recommend checking that out. I'll link it in the description. Thank you so much to everyone who submitted a question today, and if you have something you'd like to ask, drop it in the comments here and it will be added to my queue. Before you head out, don't forget to hit that thumbs up button for the YouTube algorithm, hit that subscribe button to join this amazing community, and grab your free story self-assessment worksheet and my newsletter link in the description below. Thanks so much for watching and happy writing.